Yo, what's good? The Last of Us Season 2 has ignited an insatiable desire for me to just roast something, so I just had to get out here and speak my piece. To preface, I'm a huge Last of Us fan. Seriously, I'm about this life. I played both the games multiple times. I got the tattoo, I have the bracelet, it's my screensaver, I even have it on my fucking desk phone at the job. I am thoroughly obsessed. So you already knew that I was gonna get in on this HBO action, but just because I love something doesn't mean it can't get critiqued. Now it's a shame because I actually really enjoyed the first season. I think that they were able to decently capture Joel and Ellie's relationship, but season 2? I truly believe it was Neil Druckmann's own revenge plot to troll the fans and make us like the second game more in comparison, because this was absolute dog water. So since this season is just littered with garbage, I thought it would be fun to rank all the cringe and see how it stacks up. So season 2 wastes zero time in introducing us to the main antagonist. We got Abby off rip, and she is mourning the loss of her dad after Joel lead blasted him in the head. Got him! That doctor was lucky that I wasn't the one in the hospital, because I would have pulled out the flamethrower out of spite. Now this leads to my first cringe moment. Caitlin Dever, in my opinion, isn't actually that bad. I think she did mostly well as Abby, but there's a huge elephant in the room, and let's just get over it, she's not jacked. I was really hoping that Caitlin hit the chicken breast with no season and died and at least attempted to look like the character, but that wasn't realistically gonna happen, so I guess it's whatever. But since I was bamboozled, I'm gonna just refer to her as Tiny Tina from now on. See, I'm ranking this moment in the tier list because the anger that she portrays, to me, doesn't really match her stature. It's not a bad scene, like it gets a pass, but it doesn't really hit the same as it would with the other Abby, so that's not too bad. Now, after our intro sequence, we're introduced to our star player, our savior, the greatest actress in existence, Ashley Johnson as
okay.
Wait, no, never mind, it's Bella Ramsey. We see Ellie wrestling with a grown-ass 230-pound man, and it's presented that she's getting attacked, but this is essentially just a training session. Now, what really bothered me about this is essentially my same issue with Tiny Tina. This girl is itty bitty, like light enough to javelin toss small. I have an extremely difficult time believing that this girl, who probably doesn't weigh more than 130 pounds, can take this grown trained man down. It ends with the dude tapping, and then Ellie is still going, which also pisses me off because when someone taps, you let go, period. This is already giving us some insight into how inconsiderate this version of Ellie is, and I hate it. She ends the role with a boom, motherfucker, like she actually did something. Like you swear up and down that this man can't clock your shit left and right if he wanted to. A few seconds later, it's revealed that he actually pulled his punch in the beginning of the train session, and she's gonna act all surprised, talking about don't do it again. Girl, this man would literally roll your shit if he had the opportunity. Mega turbo cringe. So we get like halfway through the episode, and Joel is revealed to be in therapy. Now, I don't have too much to say other than the apparent contrast between the two versions of Joel. Joel in the game was a straight up hard ass, but Joel in the show feels a lot less so. I don't hate that because he seems more human rather than fucking Captain America of the Apocalypse. However, the whole therapy thing to me just seems a little unrealistic considering the circumstances. And it also feels out of character for Joel. Like, it's nice, I guess, but the therapist is condescending as hell, and the whole scenario just doesn't feel authentic to me. So I'm gonna put it in not that bad tier. Now, Ellie and Dina are gonna be going on patrol soon, and Jesse explicitly tells these kids to stay their ass in line and listen to the squad leader. Now, what would the sensible protagonist of this season do? The exact fucking opposite. And that's what bothers me so much. She is undermining the danger of the infected, which really annoys me. The infected are dangerous, they always have been, they always will be, but the fact that she's making these like jokes and treating it like a side quest just pisses me off. Game Ellie would have never have done this, and this? Do you see this scene? This is weird. What the fuck is this? Mega turbo cringe, I hate it. Towards the end of episode 1, we have the dance scene, and I'm gonna be honest, this pair just looks like a complete mismatch. I'm so serious. You cannot convince me that this version of Ellie pulled Dina. But the real cringe moment is when she told off Joel. Now I'm about to dish out some L's. I really don't believe that Bella understood the character at all. She gets mad and goes, I don't need your fucking help. It's like she just learned how to curse or something, but she puts so much emphasis on said curse words and angry emotions. In the game, yeah, Ellie does cuss a lot, but it's more of like an extension of her personality rather than like to emphasize a point. The delivery just feels so off to me and I just cannot get with it. Cringe. So on episode 2, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably my favorite episode of the season. The effect of rushing down Jackson was pretty sick. There were a couple times where I feel like Tommy had some wild plot armor, like he should have died, but you know, it's okay, I guess. Now my problem comes when Tiny Tina was presented on screen. I truly think she was just yapping too damn much. It felt like a rehearsed speech that Giga Chad Joel called out in the game before he got clocked. You already know she was in her bathroom mirror last night rubbing her hands together like, oh, it's about to be so fire, just for Joel to tell her to shut the fuck up. That was actually like super funny, I can't lie. It reminds me of when Aaron punched the Warhammer during the transformation. Now, I honestly don't hate this whole scene. I know a lot of people had a lot to say about it. I personally don't hate it that much, but it feels off to me. But her calling him handsome, I know, okay, it's supposed to be like a callback to when the nurses described the man who killed her dad, but it just felt so unnecessary in the moment. It felt weird, like a little weird, I can't lie. Now we have begrudgingly arrived to episode 3, and I'd like to give some credit where it's due. I really love the way that Bella portrayed Ellie's grief in this scene. I really could feel the weight that Joel is gone. So I appreciate it. I was low-key afraid that they weren't going to include this, but they did, so big W. Now the cringe starts to show up when they decide what to do about Joel's killers. They got a whole council going on, and they're basically going to vote like, okay, we're going to cap these motherfuckers or not. Ellie has this whole speech prepared, and at the end she's like, don't do it for me or Joel, do it for us. Which I find hella hypocritical when later on she goes, sons of community! Okay. Now my gripe with the scene is that I can't possibly believe that Ellie would write some speech prepared for the town to hear. I don't know what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to make her more introspective or whatever the fuck, but I wasn't buying it. Ellie did write in a journal, but she was pretty abysmal at conveying her thoughts and emotions to other people. So this scene and as a whole, terrible? Not really, but just a little off to me. And it gets even worse though later in the show when they take the little expedition to Seattle, because towards the end of the episode, Ellie drops a one-liner and she's like, oh, I'm just trying to be badass. And Dina goes, you don't have to try. Yes, bitch, slay queen. Man, fuck off, cringe. Alright, episode 4, people. Now, I wanted to give some credit here because the beginning they're scouring the city. As they progress, there's a bunch of pride flags. Now that's not what I'm referring to. Truthfully, I don't care about Pride media. It doesn't really bother me that much. I'm not offended by it. I don't really care. Do whatever you want. But at this point, the show became obvious that they're trying to pander to some audiences, and I don't really care for that, but you know, whatever. What I wanted to praise was the guitar scene. I know people don't like Bella singing, but I actually like this scene. I really enjoy seeing how Dina was falling for Ellie here. It just felt really wholesome. In the game, if you find the guitar in this area, you can play the same song. It's optional, but I do appreciate how it bonds the characters. But we're not here for positivity, we're here for cringe. As the episode progresses, Ellie and Dina are being surrounded by infected, and this is like when my eyes start hurting, when I see how Bella is portraying the stress of the situation. I just can't take it seriously. Nah, bro, I'm sorry. This is just cringe. I can't do it. Now, you must be wondering, yo, Kai, the top slot is looking kind of empty. Oh, don't you worry, little Jimmy, because the last 15 minutes of this episode is going to knock out multiple spots all by itself because it's so ungodly awful. Ellie and Dina make it to the theater to take refuge, and I'm going to give it up. The set design is immaculate. Now, when they make it in, Dina is rightfully on edge because she witnessed Ellie take a bite from the infected, so she wants to put Ellie down before she has the chance to turn. But she obviously doesn't know that Ellie's immune. Now, after a couple hours, Dina is watching Ellie like a hawk ready to bust the caps, but she sees that Ellie doesn't turn. But for some fucking reason, she decides that now is the time to drop the pregnant bomb. Like what? Like, what is this timing? And then afterwards they started smashing. Are you, excuse me? Nah, kill me right the fuck now. Not only do we get the absolute worst care package drop of information in human history, we have to watch Bella stick her disgusting, alien looking, dirty cordyceps ridden hands all up in Dina's baby factory. Ugh! Not only have these motherfuckers not showered, She's also got blood and guts all over her hands, so Dina's pH balance is screwed beyond repair. Actually, this scene was so bad, it gets 2 more spots. My god, I hate it. And I'm not even done with the episode, I'm just getting beyond angry. Hi there, Future Kai here. While I was editing this video, I had the displeasure of having to watch these scenes over and over again to make sure that my frames are right, but I could not help but wish that I lived on the 8th floor so I could throw myself out the fucking window. Now, the next morning, they talk about the pregnancy, and Ellie drops the worst fucking line imaginable.
So we're all having a baby. Holy shit. I'm gonna be a dad.
Oh my god, no, holy shit, my god, kill me yesterday. Who the hell wrote this? Please, don't let them touch any piece of media ever again. Saying you're gonna be the dad when the dad is alive and around is diabolical work, and the fact that they made Ellie excited about this, I just can't understand the logic. Game Ellie made it apparent that Dina was gonna be a burden because of this. I mean, she kind of let it slip, but you know, it is what it is. She didn't handle the pregnancy well at all, but it showed how young and inexperienced that version of Ellie is. Not fucking parading around like, yay, a baby on a death trip to Seattle. Piss off, mate. Episode 5. 6 minutes and 56 seconds in. Natural gas, baby. I'm gonna lose it. God, making Ellie a dumb character just doesn't make sense to me at all. She was actually very intelligent. This entire scene was supposed to show her lack of intelligence, like, I think. Fucking terrible. Cringe. Later in the same episode, Ellie finds Nora, one of Tiny Tina's friends, and then goes through the same torture sequence she did in the game. Now, my problem with this is that, one, yeah, Ellie is just not intimidating, but more importantly, she's just like deadpan staring at Nora. Like there's no emotional range, and the character is to be depicted like some kind of psychopath. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't make sense. In the game, it was made pretty apparent that Ellie will do whatever she needs to do to get what she needs, but she's not like enjoying it. She's not happy to do it. This was my favorite moment in the game, but the show just does not hit the same. And oh yeah, Nora's bald. There's that. So yeah, whatever. Cringe. Episode 6 starts with Baby Joe talking to Lalo Salamanca. Now this is essentially a flashback to his childhood and gives us like an idea how he's gonna behave with Ellie. But the entirety of this episode was like a remembrance of a couple of Ellie's birthdays. She's first shown to be some annoying child, so that's an L. But my gripe with this is that it seems like Joel is depicted as some helicopter homophobic parent. Like, why? That doesn't make any sense to me. But I did find it funny when he confronted that girl, though.
17, by the way.
Well, I'm 19, so.
Later on, when Joel caps Eugene, he tries to lie to the therapist lady that he wasn't shot in the back of the head, but Ellie decided to snitch. Like, absolute bonkers, bro. Like, the more terrible writing decisions that I don't enjoy. Turbo cringe, all of it. So we finally trucked along to the last episode, and there are plenty of things I don't like, but I don't feel like talking about all that shit, so I'm gonna just skip to the end. Ellie finds Owen and Mel and gets a triple kill UAV in 1 bullet, but the pregnant Mel is like, get over here right now. She instructs Ellie to C-section her and get the baby out. Now Neil, listen here. As viewers, what the fuck are we supposed to do with this scene? Are we here to feel bad for Mel, or are we here to make Ellie the villain? Not only is Owen the dumbest motherfucker on earth, but am I supposed to just take the baby and raise it as my own? Like, what's the point of this shit? Kill me now, man. I hate it here. So that's basically the end. There's also like more fluff and shit that doesn't have any business being in this show, but you know, it is what it is. I genuinely believe that Tiny Tina is gonna carry season 3 because Caitlin Dever has done better than Bella Ramsey in her 5 minutes on that last episode. I'm not gonna lie to you, but that's not gonna come out for another 14 years, so I guess I'll just cry and roast something else in the meantime. All right, thanks y'all for watching. Deuces.